Jackie, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your basic skills just aren't up to the job.
I don't understand. What do you mean, basic skills?
Math. Basic math skills. You made some computation errors that caused problems for us. We can't train people who don't have basic math skills.
Leo, we expect a certain level of functioning from all our employees. You need to be able to take initiative, to solve problems. You don't seem to be up to it.
Solve problems? I thought you wanted me to ask what I should do.
If you can't solve simple problems, it shows you're not a good match for this job.
I'm sorry you didn't get the job. Did they even say why?
He said it was because I didn't know the programs. He said they couldn't teach me all that software. I guess I should have taken some of those courses in school when I had the chance.
A lot of times, students wonder why they have to learn certain things. They may think their classes have nothing to do with the kind of work they'll do one day. In some ways, a class or subject may not seem directly related to what you want to do.
But everything you study in school is related in some basic way to what an employer is looking for in an employee. It may not be obvious, so we're going to explore how the subjects and skills you learn in school are related to your success in the workplace.
Employers want people who can understand what they read, write clearly, and take responsibility on the job.
They want people who can think creatively and problem solve new situations.
They want people who can get along with their coworkers.
Everything you learn in school provides the foundation to make it possible for you to meet the needs of the employers today. Let's outline the 5 basic skill areas employers need and will expect you to possess.
Basic skills include reading, writing, and math comprehension, communication skills, computer literacy, creative thinking, problem solving, and self-management, personal qualities.
Hopefully, most of you already possess a lot of these skills because you've been learning them since you've started school.
But if you're weak in any of these areas, don't worry. It's not too late to learn. Let's get started and see why these basic skills are so important. Then you can take the short quiz at the end of each section and decide if you're ready for the world of work.
If you're not ready now, you'll know which essential skills you need to work on.
Let's start with the self-management skills. They're those personal qualities that in some measure make it possible for you to function well in the job and work effectively with other people.
I'm always looking for people who can take initiative. People who can see what needs to be done and tackle it without my having to tell them.
I don't have time to hold hands, so an employee's personality is key. Now, I don't mean if they're funny or shy or outgoing. I mean if they have the basic personal qualities it takes to work with other people. Self-respect, respect for others, self-confidence, and integrity. And, of course, the ability to get along with coworkers. It really makes the difference for a well-run business.
Thank you very much.
Rena is so hard to work with. All I did was ask her if she could switch breaks with me. Just once, she freaked.
I know. I've had problems with it too. I just stay away from her as much as possible.
Yeah, that's hard to do when you have to work with her as much as I do.
I know what you mean.
My employees may think I don't notice this stuff, but I do. When I have good employees like Mark and Tanya who feel they have to stay away from someone like Rena, guess what? I have to let Rena go. She needs to learn how to get along with people. She has too much of a negative attitude toward everything.
It took me a while to really feel self-confident about the job itself because it was all so new. But I had self-esteem, I guess you could say, which helped me develop self-confidence.
How do you develop the self-esteem that Mark is talking about? One way is to take the risks that will allow you to learn and to grow.
That means trying new things you're not sure you'll succeed at, like learning a new hobby or developing new skills, or even volunteering in the community.
It means taking a difficult class, one you know will be a challenge. Taking positive risks like these will help you build your self-confidence. That's what happens when you succeed at something you've never done before.
But it isn't always necessary to succeed in order to build your self-esteem. You can also learn from a failure and use that experience to figure out how to do better next time.
While you're still a student is a time to really open up and to try new things. Build your self-confidence and find out who you are and what you're good at.
I remember when I was in high school, I really liked science and was always trying to do these crazy experiments. Most of them failed, but I always learned something. I think that's why I decided to work in a lab. I don't do the experiments myself. The scientists do them. But I get to see real science while it's happening.
I hired Lucy as a lab assistant because I could see by her attitude that she's eager to learn and has a certain self-confidence. I knew she'd take responsibility, and if she needs help, she has the self-confidence to ask a question.
It's important to be willing to ask questions, and school is the place to start doing that.
It gets easier, too. At first, you might feel uncomfortable admitting that you need help and you don't understand something, but then it becomes like second nature.
Some other personal qualities that employers look for are being punctual, honest, and willing to admit a mistake and take responsibility for it.
Let's face it, if I can't trust someone to admit a mistake and take responsibility, I can't run this lab. Trust is basic.
The other day, I forgot to do something important. We're supposed to write down certain results in a log. I was so busy I totally forgot and went to lunch in the company cafeteria. Oh no, I forgot to do something.
What?
The log. I forgot to write down the results from those measurements Dr. Maloney took.
That's not good. What if she looks for them?
I know. I'll go do it now and be right back.
That's what I mean by integrity. Lucy admits her mistakes and does whatever it takes to make things right. She's very responsible.
When you learn to accept responsibility in school for being on time, for completing assignments, you are, in effect, learning the basic self-management skills you need to succeed in the work world.
And remember, all these skills we're talking about are portable. You can take them from school to work and from one job to another.
Now, take the quiz and see how you measure up.
Are you usually on time for class and prepared for work?
Do you complete assignments on time?
Do you get along well with other people?
Do you have the self-confidence that comes from positive risk-taking?
Are you willing to admit a mistake and ask for help?
Are you a person others can count on?
Can you work independently when required? If you answered yes to 4 or more of the questions, you're well on your way to having the personal qualities employers look for.
If not, you know where you need to focus your attention to improve.
You may not realize it, but every class you take in school helps you learn to think creatively. No matter what you're studying, math, science, languages, you need to figure out how to solve problems, and that's the foundation for creative thinking.
It doesn't matter if you're going to be a police officer or an office worker. Employers at every level look for people who are good at solving problems.
Mr. Leslie?
Hey, Paulo.
I've got a great solution to that problem we've been having.
Which problem?
The information flow problem. Instead of sending everyone the new numbers each week, I'll put them into the spreadsheet and send that around. That way we won't have all those mistakes and inconsistent information.
That's a great idea, Paulo. I'll let everyone know. Paulo's really sharp. I could tell right away when he started working here he was always trying to think of better ways to do his job. I wish everyone was like that. I had this one employee who just didn't get it. Accounting's waiting for those invoices, Leo.
I know, but my email is down.
So?
So I can't send them out until it comes back on.
Print out copies and walk them down. What if the email's out all afternoon?
Take them down there myself?
That's right. It's Friday and they need all the invoices today.
Oh. Okay, I can do that.
I don't need people who can't take some initiative, think on their feet, and solve a simple problem. So, as you might guess, Leo didn't work out here.
I think you can see why you need to think creatively. It's the basic and essential skill you need to solve problems and come up with better solutions.
Sometimes the old ideas don't work anymore. When you come up with new ideas that work, employers want to keep you around and even give you a raise.
Take the quiz and see where you fit in.
Do you like to solve problems?
When you don't know what to do you try to think of a solution or do you just give up?
Are you willing to take challenging classes?
When you do a paper or a report, do you like to find something different from what others are doing?
Are you willing to try something new and maybe make a mistake?
If your idea doesn't work out at first, do you try to figure out why?
solve a problem you've never solved before?
If you answered yes to 4 or more of these questions, you're well on your way to being someone employers look to hire.
If not, you know you can work on these skills by taking more challenging courses and focusing more on what's required in the courses you're already taking.
Okay, so you're into instant messaging your friends and you know all the cool music sites. Maybe you shop online too. But do you know how to use your computer as a tool for research? Do you know the basic business applications to use in the workplace? Can you use a spreadsheet?
While many young people are more familiar than their parents with how to use a computer for fun, many do not necessarily have the skills employers look for.
You're going to find that you need to list the programs you're familiar with on your resume, and may be required to take a basic skills test on a computer before you're even interviewed.
Every employee here uses a computer for something. They don't all use the same programs, but there are some basic word processing and spreadsheet programs everyone has to know.
Remember Kim, who we saw earlier? She was having trouble just getting a job because her computer skills were so poor.
I wasted so much time in school when I could have been taking some of those computer courses.
Well, maybe you can take an adult ed class.
I know, but I'm going to have to keep on working at Burger Palace for now. What a bore.
I could help you with some of the basics. Come on. This is a basic spreadsheet. Look, you can keep running totals over here in this column by inserting the new information. Just pull down the insert menu and insert the new one. See?
Yes, that's pretty cool.
And once you've learned it, it's not that hard.
It's actually pretty easy, but the thing is, I don't have a computer to practice on. I think that's one reason I didn't take the classes to begin with.
Well, you know, the library has all these basic programs, and the librarians, they'll be glad to help you.
I feel so dumb asking questions. I feel like everyone else knows all this.
Well, they don't. Don't feel dumb. People like to help. They like to feel smart. I ask questions at my job all the time.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem. I'll go down to the library with you a few times. I have some reading that I can get into for my own courses.
Is community college hard?
Not if you keep up with the work. You can take a computer course, you know, and work on your college credits all at the same time.
Maybe I will.
I had one employee who could really use a spreadsheet. She showed me stuff I didn't know. She left to go back to school, but I told her if she ever wants a job with us, just call me.
Lucy, have you found that research study yet?
Yes, I just bookmarked it.
Oh, great. Email me the link right away, will you?
Sure thing.
In labs like this one, researchers use the internet to stay on top of what's going on in their field. Everyone here, right down to the receptionist, knows how to access important information.
I used to think that research was just typing in whatever and seeing what sites come up. But that's not what we do here. For one thing, you need to know how to identify a good source of information. They're not all equally useful. You don't want to waste half a day surfing around.
So the computer is a very important tool in the workplace. When you know how to use it in this way, you'll be a more desirable person to hire. And don't forget, if you need to, you can get computer access at your library. The librarian will be very glad to help you out.
So take this quiz to see how your computer skills rate.
Have you taken keyboarding and other basic computer courses your school offers?
Do you know how to use the computer as a research tool?
Do you know how to use a spreadsheet?
Do you know where to get information about programs used in the workplace?
When you read a manual for a program, do you understand the basic terms used?
If you had to take a test on the computer, would you feel completely comfortable?
Do you feel comfortable asking questions about how to use a program? If you answered yes to 4 or more of these questions, you're well on your way to having the kind of computer skills employers need.
If not, you know now that you need to take some of those courses you've been avoiding. It's not too late. Employers agree that good communication is essential when it comes to keeping a business running smoothly.
You need to know how to communicate simple information clearly. That means speaking well and listening to what others have to say.
There are many different communication skills, but one key concept is being able to get your idea across without putting down someone else's idea. and knowing how to listen to criticism without taking it personally.
I think we should put all the bags in the boxes right here. Look, there's a lot more room.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's a good idea. Or, if we get rid of some of this stuff right in front of us that we really don't need, then we could put the bags and boxes in front. That way we won't have to turn around to get them.
I think you're right. So let's just get rid of all the stuff that we don't need.
Tanya really listens to other people and makes them feel that what they have to say is valued. Her coworkers really respond to that. She's also very good at handling angry customers.
That clerk at the register told me I can't return this. I'm confused. I've always been able to return things before.
Yeah, I see. I'm sorry you're upset. Our store policies can be confusing at times. This jacket is final sale, which we can give your store credit for. We can't give you cash back, but the next time you shop with us, the credit will automatically be applied. You have an account with us?
Yes, I shop here a lot.
Good, and we appreciate your business. You don't have to worry about remembering the credit. It'll automatically be applied. Step over to the register. I'll take care of this for you.
Thank you. She didn't tell me I could get a credit.
We learn communication skills in school, where you reflect back what the person is saying and pay attention to their feelings. When you reflect back, you're just saying your own words what the person said to you. Like when the customer said she was confused, I said, store policies can be confusing. That way she knew that I understood her complaint. And my apology let her know I was sympathetic. It works every time. Oh, make good eye contact. It helps you really connect with others.
It's important for people who work together to know how to show respect for each other. They listen. They don't interrupt. They show that they think what the other person has to say is important. Also, it helps if they can take criticism without thinking it's personal. Some people get upset when I tell them they're doing something wrong. They get all mad. It's very unprofessional.
You wouldn't believe the problems we have when someone sends an email that isn't written clearly and then others misunderstand it. You need to be able to write a simple, clear email message.
You also need to know what's important to communicate to others. If you think something isn't important and you don't share that information, well, let's just say it can cause a lot of problems. Last week, I told an employee we were putting all the pants in the store on sale. We had a big sign on the window too, but she forgot to tell her coworkers, and some of them didn't notice the sign. There was lots of confusion before we got it straightened out.
So now take the quiz to see how your communication skills measure up.
Do you speak and write simply and clearly when you communicate information?
Do you make eye contact when you talk to another person?
Do you really listen to what they have to say?
Can you listen to constructive criticism without getting defensive or angry?
Do you know how to disagree with someone without putting them or their idea down?
Do you think about when it's important to share information?
Do you know how to reflect back what someone is saying and show you're sympathetic?
If you answered yes to 4 or more of these questions, you're well on your way to having the communication skills you'll need in the workplace.
If not, you know what you need to work on now. Get to it. By the way, there are plenty of books and information in the library and online about communication skills. Videos, too. Check it out. Do you know what the 3 R's stand for? Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Basic skills in reading, writing, and math comprehension are so important we save them for last. You need these skills in just about any job worth having, and while you're in school is the time to pay attention and make sure you get them.
Remember Jackie at the beginning of the program? She was having problems with her basic math skills. Let's see what happened to her.
Jackie, you must have made a mistake because the readout on the results for Dr. Kaplan's study doesn't make any sense.
Oh, no, not again.
And Miss Freeman wants to see you in her office.
That can't be good. Lucy, if I make another big mistake like that again, I'm gonna get fired. She made it pretty clear.
You know, you can take a remedial math course at night. Maybe you just need to get some of the basics down.
Yeah, I just hate to spend my time doing that now, what I should have done when I was in school. I mean, I had to be there anyway. Now I have no choice. I'll have no job. Or at least no job that I want.
If you don't have basic reading, writing, and math skills, you'll be at a big disadvantage, just like Jackie.
These skills areas also help you to think critically, problem solve, and use all the other skills we talked about. They're fundamental.
That's because they really go to the heart of being able to understand a problem, reason, consider several possibilities, and weigh the consequences of the decisions you make. In many ways, making good decisions is what it's all about.
I had an employee once who really couldn't read. He was responsible for organizing things in the storeroom, would get shipments of new merchandise, and he couldn't read the labels, so he didn't know what was in the boxes. He had to open them first. It was really hard on him and everyone else. He just couldn't function efficiently. We had a big change in our health coverage, and I sent out a memo explaining it. This one employee totally misunderstood the memo and got all upset. She was always having trouble understanding things she had to read. If I could have one skill in all my employees, it would be reading comprehension. So many things depend on it.
I have to set up that new equipment for Dr. Maloney's experiment with preservatives. I've been reading the protocol, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Can you help me out?
Sure, let me see it.
Thanks for helping me with that.
Reading the technical manuals can be hard. You'll get used to it.
If I didn't have basic reading skills, I would have just given up and quit.
Yeah, if you have the basic reading ability, you'll learn the technical terms over time. That's what I did. After a while, it's like reading the back of a cereal box.
Having strong reading comprehension and math skills will help assure that you can succeed in many of the most desirable jobs out there.
And you can show off your writing skills when you're applying for a job by putting together a clear, well-written resume.
You can get lots of information online and in the library about how to write a resume, if you need it.
Time for the last quiz. See how good your reading, writing, and arithmetic skills are.
Are your basic reading comprehension scores at grade level?
Can you read and follow clearly written instructions in a technical manual, example, or a cell phone?
Can you write a clear paragraph that will get your point across?
Can you write a business letter?
Can you fill out a job application without difficulty?
Do you have a well-written, professional-looking resume?
Are your basic math comprehension and computation skills at grade level? If you answered yes to 4 or more of these questions, you're on your way to having the essential literacy and math skills employers need and will expect you to have.
If not, you know what to do. Now, while you're still in school, take advantage of all the courses you can.
Let's face it, you don't want to get stuck in some dead-end job where it doesn't matter whether or not you'll have the skills we've been talking about. You want to do well and get a job that's worth keeping.
You want to be prepared to move up in your career too, and maybe even go on with your education later on, if not right after high school.
To do that, you need to have all these essential skills. That's why school is so important.
Everything you learn now, you'll take with you to the workplace, from one job to another. School is the foundation for an interesting and satisfying career.
So get those skills down.
You won't regret it.
Start today and good luck.